tierras para conocer, nunca se pierde la dirección. Si el que nos guía es el corazón y voy para donde me lleva el viento, navegando sin rumbo cierto, deshojando la flor de la esperanza, desatando la furia del mar. Porque me gusta la gente que lleva la sangre caliente, nunca se olvida. Hay que aprender a gozar de la vida. El coro canta con el sabor de mi tierra santa. No se termina un día entero sin saber lo que sufrí. El hambre ya no se puede disimular y se ha perdido la dirección por traficar con el corazón. Y en tus ojos soy un extranjero, soy el que llega y se va primero, deshojando la flor de la esperanza, desatando la furia del mar. Me gusta la gente que lleva la sangre caliente, nunca se olvida. Hay que aprender a gozar de la vida. El coro canta con el sabor de mi tierra santa. No se termina un día entero sin saber lo que sufrí.
Hello, welcome to OLAi, Odyssey Local Artist Interviews. My name is Christopher Rose, and I'm the producer of this show. The things you'll hear over the next hour represent the views of OLAi and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio and are sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program. And hello again. Welcome back to River West Radio. My name is Christopher Rose. I'm your host, and this is another episode of Odyssey Local Artist Interviews, better known as OLAi, live streaming internet radio talk show available to listen to at www.riverwestradio.com on Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. every week. We bring in artists to get to know them and their perspectives on what's happening in the city and its creative culture. Today's featured guest is Santiago and Aaron of Escape to Ecuador. How's it going, fellas?
Hey, good. Thanks for having us here.
Muy bien.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. All right. Yeah, so our featured guest again today, Santiago and Aaron, two of the company's three. Jason could not make it with us today. However, I wanted to bring you guys on the show today, talk a little bit about the art of travel, which is certainly, in its own respect, a craft. So, how's it going today, you guys?
Doing good. Enjoying Milwaukee, vibrant city.
Yeah.
Yes, first of all, thank you for having us. This is a great show. I listen all the time.
Awesome.
Love it. Shouts out to OLAi.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I want to definitely take a moment and say thank you, gentlemen, for coming down here and joining us today. So distances between us, between South America, North America, a lot going on in between here and there, and we're making the connections. You guys are making the connections for people.
Definitely, and it's a real pleasure for me to be on your radio show now, having you were our very first customer, our very first student who went abroad with us. Mm-hmm. And that's how we grew from the very beginning. We had a vision, Santiago and I. Mm-hmm. We sat down and we talked about our opportunities to travel, and how when we were in Ecuador, which is in South America on the west coast, okay, and when we were down there, we just had such a great time. It opened our eyes. Our perspectives grew. Mm-hmm. And we came back here to Milwaukee, and we visited after our travels. I had done a study abroad. Santiago did a little backpacking. As I was studying abroad, I did my fair share of backpacking and exploring. We came back and we shared that, and we said, we need to bring this to more people. And you were one of those first people that we brought, so it's great to have it come full circle, and now here we are, still preaching our message and our vision out to the community.
Excellent.
Well, actually, what we got from our travels, it was a vision of sharing awareness to different communities and cultures through different subcultures, and a lot of had to do with education, and that's something that we're trying to integrate, is educating people on different cultures, different art, also in about conservation and growing great gardens around communities all over the world, and preservation of our environment and animals, which is huge down in South America because it's very rich. There's not much concrete in a lot of places. Therefore, we have to take care of those places, you know, because next generations will have to see them. Because if we don't take care of it, then everything is gonna disappear. That's not cool, man.
No, of course. So creating a self-sustainable lifestyle now, you know, and re-implementing practices that already have been existing for hundreds and thousands of years, but bringing awareness and attention back to that, because I think over the last few centuries we've gotten a little astray from maybe those root practices that are very good for us, for our well-being. So, and
definitely one of the things that people need to understand first about Ecuador, and why do we choose Ecuador, is because it's known as a place where the entire world comes and meets at the same spot. So there's really 4 different worlds to explain Ecuador to you in like 30 seconds, all right? It's got the Galapagos Islands.
Yes.
Darwin's theory of evolution completely changed the world, and that's what we want to do. We want to show people that same thing that inspired that theory. Then the next world is the coast. You go to the coast, surfing culture, very friendly little towns. You relax, have a great time. There's nothing like it else in the world. Then you go up to the Andes. You have glaciers, Volcano Alley. There's thermal waters like spas that are natural. So there's lots of exploring to do through there. Then you go onto the other side of the mountains to the east, and you have the Amazon rainforest, which eventually flows over to Brazil. And what we want to do is protect these 4 worlds and these diverse ecosystems that are there. And go ahead, Sam.
Because each community, each section in Ecuador, as we're gonna call it today, a section, the Andes Mountains has lots of culture, lots of different art that is very different from the coast, or as the same from the rainforest. Therefore, there's different projects down there of how people integrate within their communities and how they self-sustain themselves. And that, to us, was a learning experience to see those communities and the aid that they need, because here in the United States, we have a pretty good idea of a lot of things. Therefore, what we want to do is we want to learn from these communities, but also teach them what we know here, because there's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of technology here, and there's a lot of great roots that we can implement in new programs to aid them the natural way and protect those ethnicities, communities, and their own culture by embracing it, by bringing foreigners down there to connect with different cultures, and that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. So, Santiago, tell me, I mean, you guys obviously rooted your organization together through your travels through Ecuador in the past. Tell me about whenabouts that occurred, and how long have you guys been around, and kind of how did you begin your company Escape to Ecuador based on those inspirations you found in your travels?
Well, it was a lot of work. We had the idea and we had a dream. We were just finishing college. It was a matter of fact of contacting people from those communities that have been doing the stuff that we want to get involved, the stuff that we learn from our travels by visiting different communities and doing volunteer just to get by and move on to the next town, because a backpacking trip is the best way of backpacking.
Yeah.
Therefore, from that, we took that into a perspective, into learning about these communities and wanted to share it. So like that idea itself was the beginning of it. Then we connected together. He had the same ideas, the same goals. We started developing with Jason Latzer, Aaron O'Connell here, and myself. We started developing programs. And we're starting to match up programs with people that have been doing these. And then from there, we started contacting. A lot of people turned us down. We were younger. We didn't know much about it. We were immature in the business, if you or in that type of organized work, and therefore a lot of try, a lot of effort, a lot of passion with it, and keep knocking on doors.
Yeah, it's been very grassroots, very organic. We start, we had that kind of pick ourselves up by the bootstraps type of mentality from the very beginning. And for me, to be honest, it started really in high school. It's a part of who we are, this Escape to Ecuador thing. I mean, it makes us individuals,
That's right.
and we each bring a different piece. And what's real interesting about it is Santiago came, you can hear the accent probably, all you listening, tuning in.
Yeah.
He grew up in Ecuador, and he came here in high school. And when he came, obviously there was a language barrier between us. I was learning Spanish in Spanish class, and he was here learning English on the fly.
Yeah.
And that first exchange really is what brought us and what grew this idea within us, because we saw that we could bring this exchange and this enlightening experience of reaching out to another community, to another type of person. It just breaks down those barriers that we have sadly still. And if we can open and bring that to more people, that is what we want to bring to our community here in Milwaukee, as well as down there in Ecuador.
To experience that exchange, the exchange of culture, that we can all get along anywhere we go, and that's really awesome. When you learn a different culture, you learn a different language, and you connect it with your own culture and your own language. That's something that inspires us to get where we're trying to get. Educational programs. We're doing it. We're also implementing some volunteering and tourism, and that's pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me about some of those first organizations or groups that you are reaching out to down there. That like you said, you got to just keep knocking on doors, But tell me about some of those first groups that you went to that maybe have turned you down and maybe since have accepted you, or that you kind of just had to swim past. Who are some of those first organizations that you felt like were going to be a good kickstart for you guys to jump from?
Well, something that we knew from the very beginning is that we didn't want to come in there like Whitey Almighty and tell people this is how we're gonna do things to benefit your community.
Whitey Almighty.
Yeah. No, we said that's not our thing. We want to be involved with the community. We want to be a part of the community.
Yes.
And so it really took a lot of getting to know the communities, reaching out through firsthand experience, and actually visiting each site where we planned to bring more people to, because we had met friends and we had met people who are doing good things there, and we said, we can help you, we can give you the support, we can give you the people who want to learn something through this experience and give to it and see everything grow. So some of those first experiences were with some organizations that, we knew from the very beginning, this is a beautiful place. There's nothing like I've never seen. I mean, I've been traveling the U.S. I've seen the Grand Canyon. I've seen the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
Some beautiful things.
Yeah.
Nothing like what I saw in Ecuador. And I said, I want my kids to see this. I want to see the next generations come and enjoy this and actually make it better. Because I saw the potential, but I also saw the potential to go to the wayside, where the oil industry or the shrimping industry could come and take over and people could make a living that way. But we said, what's an alternative to that?
Yeah.
How can we help this community support themselves, become self-sustainable, and other people, preserve the local ecosystem, and for the people to come and be a part of that, enjoy it, experience everything that there is to experience, learn about it, have fun.
Kind of a contracultural approach to industry there.
Exactly, yeah. We don't need to change the place we're going to. We're going to become involved, as the saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And that's really, it speaks a lot of truth. And our plan is not short term, it's long term. So what do? We're focused on conservation, planting those trees, planting those seeds for the future, for people to be able to grow and for people to be able to live in harmony down in this area where it really is possible. You have to see it to believe it.
And also helping the people learn how to develop their communities in a healthy way. Because in the past, there is a lot of agriculture facts that have implemented into their own cultures, and it has damaged few ecosystems there. Therefore, with the new ways and the new knowledge and the new things that are out there, we are bringing that knowledge down there and teaching these communities how to self-sustain themselves, how to create and preserve their environment and their ecosystems as well as their species.
So you guys had a pretty strong focus on ecoculturalism and agriculture. So probably some of those initial groups had been more directed in that kind of in that realm. Would that be comfortable to say that was
Yeah.
kind of the
Well, to
we
tell
visit- we-
you the truth, Escape to Ecuador started. The first group we had was all tourism. We didn't have anybody that wanted to volunteer or do anything. They just wanted to go down there,
Yeah.
see a bunch of different sites, experience the coast, experience a little bit of culture, some
Yeah.
food, see some awesome cool things, get the adrenaline going. You know, doing some rafting, kayaking, surfing in the tropical forest.
Yeah.
All that stuff for fun. But then, you know, as we were growing with these groups, we were getting more involved with what is community work and community tourism, and that's where we decided to implement an educational program where we can bring people to study abroad and do an abroad experience through a university there, as you experienced that with UWM, got your credits back, and then we also tied it up with hands-on work for people that are, you know, let's say if you're a nursing major, you can go down there and do like an internship in a hospital abroad, where you see different things, how different procedures there are, and you know, you learn from it, you put that in your resume, it'll expand your resume, and also it makes you get in tune with a different community. The Hispanic community here is growing. You learn Spanish, you're a nurse, it's gonna help you out a little better. In terms of conservation, we have the university where we can take you on a conservation if you're like into conservation or ecology or biology or biology research. We can create your own thesis with your university, so you can go down there and experience hands-on the field doing a bio research on how many hummingbirds are in the area called Mindo, and you count hummingbirds and you do your research, etc., etc. So that's with in terms of like biology and all that. But then we also have social programs such as, you know, helping the street children, helping the orphanages, teaching kids English, so they become more aware of what is outside the world besides their community.
Yes, and that's true because Ecuador is called a place of pura vida, or pure life. And they're actually still discovering species out there. So that's just to give you an idea of how unexplored this territory is. And once again, I just want to mention real quick that if you guys listening to this are interested in learning more, check us out on escapetoecuador.com. Also, we have a Facebook page. If you just type in Escape to Ecuador, you can link up with us there and follow our latest travels, news. We're involved in the community here doing lots of interesting things, which
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into
Absolutely.
real soon.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, escapetoecuador.com.
one of those major programs that you guys are pushing for is that educational exchange, you know, study abroad programs. So that's one niche of Escape to Ecuador, involving nursing or biologies or
Multifaceted here, you know.
a variety of options. Pretty much anything that any typical university would offer here, you can relate to and practice down there.
With the connections we have, we can set up a personalized program where people can come to us and be like, hey, I'm a major on photography, and I want to go and do site photograph.
Yeah.
And we can set it up where you can go and take Spanish courses that will transfer to UWM, and then set you up with an internship doing some photography, taking, you know, underwater photos, going in the rainforest, species photos, whatever, you know, like National Geographic stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
and what we really want to do is also, I mean, definitely provide those opportunities for the individuals who have a plan and they want their place to explore, you know, and they want to be a part of designing it, and we'll do that with you.
Okay.
But we also want to take your high school group or your college group, your class, and go down and learn not only just about the ecosystem, but about the culture and the language. If you're interested in studying Spanish, it's one of the top 3 spoken languages in the world, and it's a perfect place because it's actually
clean.
Yes, the spoken language, the spoken Spanish, is one of the clearest. It's referred to as kind of like the Midwestern English accent. Okay, so it's very easy for an outsider to come in, understand, and you're accepted into that community, and it's a feeling that gives you hope.
Yeah.
You know, and it really does change your perspective. And once you bridge that communication gap, it does open your horizons to a lot of new things.
Absolutely. And firsthand, having experienced that, you know, down there directly and also in other countries abroad, there's something also to be said about what you begin to learn about yourself as well.
Definitely.
Whether you're in a
Personal
group,
growth.
or if you're traveling individually, there's a lot to learn, and you'll find out about yourself. This isn't a camping trip for the weekend,
Yeah.
you know. And at the same time, though, too, I don't want to get our listeners twisted. You know,
No.
you certainly can go camping in Ecuador and sleep at a hammock in the rainforest if you like, or out by the beach.
All day, backpacker
Yeah, no
style,
problem.
huh?
But at the same time, you can also go to a 5-star hotel and get your toes massaged in a, you know,
For
15
$10 an
stories
hour.
up. You know, so
You know?
there's a huge, you know,
We try to match the diversity of the country itself with the
Yeah.
amount of services that we provide. Definitely.
absolutely. So beyond education, can you tell me about what are some of the other programs that you have, just you know individually, and then maybe you can explain a little bit to me about what those programs involve.
Okay. Well, I think the biggest thing to first of all explain is ecotourism. And what is ecotourism? So, ecotourism, what it is it's actually not impacting the place that you go to. You're leaving a positive impact where you travel. And like a common theme here has been, you give back to the place that you visit, and you learn about that place.
Yeah.
You don't just trample over it and then you take some pictures along the way and then you chill in the pool and drink a margarita. You know, it's like a completely different type of experience for the people who are looking for that.
If you're
Because-
going down there to enjoy an apple, you're going to eat it, but then you're going to leave the seeds in the ground somewhere, you know, with the
Exactly.
intention of growing and,
Exactly.
and replacing.
Yeah, and we don't like we said, we want to preserve this. We want to make it even better because you know, regardless of industry and whatnot, these places are going to grow and they're going to need the infrastructure, but an eco-friendly infrastructure. And that's what we donate to. Those are the causes that we are involved with down there, with conservation organizations, with social development organizations, education. So ecotourism really, no matter what you do, if you're canopying, if you're learning how to surf in the summer, if you are biking through the mountains, if you're chilling in a thermal hot water bath, you're giving back to a community because they have that, they don't have to turn to an industry such as the oil industry, which is very lucrative. They could come back and they're a third world country. They could be, show me the money, you know, let's get this oil money real quick. You know, there's a thirst for it. But they're looking for something sustainable, and we're looking to encourage that ourselves. So travel is one way to do that. You know, if somebody can get money, can support themselves through water rafting, then that's something that they don't have to do maybe the shrimping industry in place of that. So this is the type of thing that gives us a positive impact in Ecuador. So, you know, whether, like I said, there's a wide range of things you could get involved with, but it's all going to be doing something positive. And we make sure of that. And we can do that because we're on the ground there in Ecuador, we're here in the U.S.
And it's all about getting you out of the comfort zone. You know, sometimes we get so caught up in our own worlds, and when you just take off and leave and go somewhere new where you're by yourself, you get out of this comfort zone that you're in, and you start to grow within yourself and expose yourself in a whole different level where you have, you know, only yourself to make it happen. You know, like, I mean, you can only count on yourself to not be self-conscious and throw the Spanish words out there, and the community responds back to it and they love it, and then that's how you start learning and you start merging, and that's really cool.
The other thing I think that, you know, that gives you a sense of freedom, you know, and we give you that freedom. But what we also do is for every participant who comes down to Ecuador, you get a cell phone, the first thing. So you're always a phone call away for any reason. We also set up intensive Spanish courses for anybody who wants to do independent exploring. It's best that you either come with a pretty good knowledge of Spanish or else you learn in one of our institutes in Quito. Otherwise, with one of our groups, Santiago is a tour guide. I am a tour guide in the summers and during Easter week. When you come with the group, we have private transportation. We take you to the places, and then once we get to each location, people have the freedom to branch out once you're in the town. Because the towns are, you know, they're not huge metropolis we're talking about. We're talking about quaint, friendly towns that we are making positive impacts, and they're being able to grow in a way that's not damaging. You know, involving the environment. It's a part of their lives. And
And preserving their ecosystems as well as their culture, which is the very important fact of it, is that we don't want them communities to lose their culture, to lose
You're not
their
there to
pride.
assimilate them,
Yes. Not
at
you know,
all.
into another way of being.
We're not trying to colonize cultures. We're trying to actually teach them to be proud about it, and
Yeah.
that other people can go and learn from it, and then you can get and be knowledgeable of other cultures around the world, and that's the awareness, that's the connection, that's unity. And
What would be like an example of an eco tour that you could offer somebody?
All right. Well, our eco tours would start in Quito. Quito is the capital of Ecuador. It was actually the first. If you've heard of the UNESCO World Heritage spots, they have man-made and natural UNESCO World Heritage sites. Quito was the very first one that was ever named, and that's because of its colonial history. Now, Spain founded it back in the 1500s, and since has changed, and it's turned into, you can go to the old Spanish side of town, and then you can go into the new developed town where all the travelers come through. But you see so much history and culture there, and everyone from Ecuador can kind of come together in that one spot. So it's where everyone starts, and there's beautiful things to see there. You're about a 20-minute drive away from the actual equator line. There's a monument there. It's beautiful. You wake up in the morning, you look out at snow-capped peaks. The nightlife there is amazing. You go through colonial Quito during the day on a tour, and like I said, you can go by the President's Palace. You can go by La Plaza Grande, where actual battles were fought for the independence of this place. Where we go from there is we go to Mindo. And Mindo, you may have heard about it, actually, for those of you birders who are out there.
1 second though, in Quito, what we
ahead.
do, we also do a little bit of mountain climbing, where
Oh yeah, there's
you get
Cotopaxi is about
pretty
an hour and
high
a
up
half
there,
away.
about 15 to 19,000 square feet above sea level. So be prepared to take a little hike and see the beauty of the mountains. Once you get to the top, is nothing better than it's like you are almost touching the sky.
Yeah, you're like looking down at clouds and stuff. So it's pretty amazing feeling, like I said, freedom. And you feel like, what more could there be to see? This is amazing. Well, we take you to the next stop, Mindo. Mindo, like I said, the birders may have heard about it. It's got the most species of birds per square kilometer in the world. There's 400 species there. And what you can also do in Mindo is you can go through the rivers, rafting, you can go canopying. Also, their orchids and butterflies are, when you can go on hikes and you see the wild butterflies and orchids, and there's no other place like it. From there, and also what we do is we give back to a local school. So we've had groups of volunteers who have come through, help with some of the infrastructure, and done a little exchange with some of these kids who are trying to learn English.
So you guys
And-
also have the volunteer program as well. That's kind of a
Well, if it's a mainly ecotourism, we're just gonna be touring, but at the same time, we're visiting some communities, and when we're visiting each community, we are helping them out because like we're bringing the tours to preserve their community, to preserve their nature, to preserve their rivers,
And
so
they get
people can
excited
go
when
in
we
there
come,
and do some activities and clean rivers, spring waters.
They're like, oh, escape to Ecuador, yeah, vinieron. Esa
Yeah,
es,
and the
brother.
people in the communities
Esa
love
es,
it. Like they really love us. We have received a lot of love from them every time we have taken a tour. They're just very happy to have us there, and have the people that we bring. We treat them like it's your house, and that's what the part of ecotourism. And from Mindo, we go to the coast.
Yes. Now the coast is very diverse. You can go from the northern all the way down to the south, where it's a little more arid. Up in the north, it is more tropical.
So one thing though to recall back, you start in the Andes Mountains, Quito. From there you go into a cloud forest, Mindo. Now from Mindo you keep going down till you get to the tropical forest in the coast.
Moving westward, yeah.
Yeah.
And on the Pacific coast, there's a wide range of culture, a wide range of ethnicity, and a wide range of vegetation too. As I said, you start out in the tropical areas. Now this
As
is
well
where-
as art. There's the architecture is a lot of bamboo, and also a lot of wood carving.
Yeah. So we would stop in. There's a lot of different places we could stop, but I'll just name a few of our destinations. For those of you beachgoers, we stop at Atacames. Now this is in northern coast of Ecuador, and the largest ethnic group in this area of the country is the Afro-Ecuadorians. If you ever watch Ecuador in the World Cup or something, you may notice there's a lot of black players, and that's because lots of them come from the northern coast. This Afro-Ecuadorian population.
Yep.
And actually, I just heard the other day that they're ranked top 30 in FIFA. So they're going to Brazil, and we're gonna keep an eye on them in the World Cup.
Vaya.
Yeah.
We'll see. We hope.
Yeah. But anyways, this beautiful beaches, beautiful culture, lots of marimba music. They bring that sort of Afro-Caribbean culture to Ecuador. So very fun. As you go down, you see a little bit more of the manglar ecosystem, which is it's kind of like an ocean marsh, okay? And this brought about one of our biggest basically projects is reforesting, turning some of these manglar areas and bringing them back, because what happened was rehabilitating, perfect. And what had happened was the shrimping industry along the northern coast. A few years back, they saw that these marshes were good for their shrimp pools, but it destroyed the local ecosystem. So then the shrimp industry actually dried up. I don't know, it just did. And I think it had something to do with El Nino. Okay, so it was doing something weird with the fish. They dried up the industry, they moved out, left these barren pools. So we actually have a bio-research station where you can do community service, where you can do reforestation,
Learn English, Spanish, teach English and learn Spanish.
Yes, and this place is in an area called Muisne is the biggest. It's kind of in the boonies, but the biggest city close is Muisne. All right, and so you're out there in this. Some of it's untouched, some of it's completely barren, and they're trying to bring it back, connect this network of shrimp pools and make it natural again. So that's something they're working on there, and we could take a visit there. If you wanted to, you can volunteer there. You could be a part of a quick little project, painting the school we've done with some of our groups in the past. Just helping them with even just creating desks for inside the class. And then
we have paint murals in there.
Yeah, even teaching. Some of our groups who have been there for a week have put together little lessons, and just that interaction with the kids. I mean, the look on the faces of the local community. I mean, it's priceless, And that sort of experience, you can't put a price tag on that,
Okay.
And also in the coast, there's a lot of music native from the coast, which is a lot of salsa, a lot of marimbas, a lot of congos, a lot of Latin percussion from the Afro culture.
Yeah.
And it's just full of energy and very vibrant and happy and very friendly people.
And it's a main attraction spot too, not only for people from the Midwest, but all over the U.S. and also from Europe and it. I noticed as well too. Yeah, South Americans. A lot of South Americans. That's a destination go-to spot. So you're gonna get Argentinos, Chilenos, Brazilianos.
You gotta keep in mind that about 50% of the coast of Ecuador is virgin still. It's untouched, and that's what people wants to see. And that's what the big problem with that is that a lot of people is finding out about this and they want to go there and develop it. But we are in a movement and we are working with organizations to, if you're going to develop it, we're going to develop it right. We're going to develop it equal. We're going to teach the culture, and that's the whole education, immersion, and expressing awareness with different communities.
Yeah. So, so just to wrap up this thought, what we're going to be delving into is actually something that's much bigger than just trips, and it's actually the formation of eco-communities. And we'll get into that, but it all starts with education, as Santiago said. So we'll let you think about that. Once again, if you guys have time, if you're on your computer, check out escapetoecuador.com.
Escapetoecuador.com.
Or on facebook.com/escapetoecuador. And, browse us out, sign up for our newsletter. There's a link in there. You guys will, it's very user-friendly.
Very good,
Check
very
out
good.
some of the pictures.
We'll get back in touch with Aaron and Santiago in here in a second. just talking about the island music and the varieties from the north to the south, changing up. I want to give you just a little bit of taste of something you might hear if you're out on the coast on there. This is a jam called Escucha el Ritmo. And this is done by the Spanish Harlem Orchestra. So we'll let you tune in this, check it out, and we'll be back shortly.
Escucha bien cómo el ritmo va, para que puedan bailarlo así. Pita Mitch. Escucha bien cómo el ritmo va, para que puedan bailarlo así. Escucha bien cómo el ritmo va, para que puedan bailarlo así.
Oye, qué rica melodía que yo te traigo aquí, pa' que tú lo goces, pa' que baile así, así.
Escucha bien cómo el ritmo va, para que puedan bailarlo así.
Todo el mundo está gozando, vámonos para el solar. La cosa se ha puesto buena, vamos todos a bailar.
Escucha bien cómo el ritmo va, para que puedan bailarlo así.
Cantando con esta orquesta, hoy te quiero saludar y te traemos sabroso, qué rico mi cha-cha-cha.
Escucha bien cómo el ritmo va, para que puedan bailarlo así.
El que castiga las teclas,
Oscar Hernández.
That was Escucha el Ritmo, the Spanish Harlem Orchestra.
Oh, can I throw a shout out real quick?
Absolutely.
So those of you who are listening to that music, if you like the style of that, you should definitely come out to Jazz in the Park next Thursday. There's going to be a band called Orquesta Tumbao.
Orquesta Tumbao.
Yeah, so they play a lot of boogaloo, salsa, merengue. They toss it all in there. I will be there. Escape to Ecuador will be there. Rosie,
Yes.
you better be there too.
I'll be there.
And those of you listening, it's going to be a great time,
And
great
Orquesta
party.
Tumbao is local Milwaukee.
Speaking of local Milwaukee, Escape to Ecuador is not only offering programs to travelers and students or people who like to travel down to Ecuador, you guys are also doing a lot of things here in
Most definitely.
the community. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing here.
No doubt. Well, we definitely are involved in the community here locally. All right, so one of the things that I'm definitely involved with is education, and the education side of things. So I'm a Spanish teacher at Waukesha South High School, And one of the things that we are doing is we're involved with a local organization called Compost Kids. It's compost with a K.
We have also done some work with Growing Power, and in Waukesha, actually, we developed at Waukesha West an aquaponics system for the kids to come and learn how to grow their own thing. So we developed that last semester.
Yes. So through the Waukesha Education Foundation, they funded this idea to take fifth graders from Spanish-speaking homes out in Waukesha and have them learn about what is aquaponics and how do we bring it to our schools in Waukesha. And we actually built our own aquaponics system, which if any of you have been to Growing Power and know their story, or maybe Sweetwater Organics, you'll know that it's a type of farming that you can do in an urban setting, inside of a building. And we've actually done it inside of Waukesha West High School.
Wow.
And what we're building with Compost Kids is a compost to be able to provide the soil. Now what they do is they provide the grassroots kind of awareness and help us with the design and implementation of this so that people can be involved from around Waukesha. They also have one in Bayview and other areas. You can check out their website to learn more, compostkids.com with a K.
We are actually a part of Compost Kids. I am in the board of the directors of Compost Kids, and it's an organization that is full of new ideas and good things to teach people how to grow great gardens. And I think, it's a movement which people are approaching it better nowadays and have been in the past as well. But it's just a better way of how to compose organic fertilizer and give it to people and give them courses and teach them how to maintain their gardens and how to deal with their gardens. Another thing that we want to get into is art. We appreciate art. We are artists in many different things that we do, but we really appreciate the art that is going on in Milwaukee, and that's something that it just drives us crazy. So all the artists out there, we want to get involved with artists that want to go down to Ecuador and do some art shops there to teach kids, some art. Perhaps, we have an idea of painting it forward, bringing some artists down there.
Yeah.
Aaron is going to talk to you a little bit more about.
Yeah, so Santi's talking about an artist exchange, really. And we already have one artist that's on board, and we're always looking for more. We've got opportunities to do things here, involved with our gardens, and also down in Ecuador with our projects. So we have one local artist from Waukesha. His name's Ben Stark, and he has this thing called Painting It Forward with the website paintingitforward.org. So what he has volunteered to do is paint a mural at one of our school sites along the coast of Ecuador. And he's going to be doing that with a documentary crew.
Excellent.
And we're doing that this winter. So basically we're going to bring a group of travelers down. We're all going to get involved in the painting of this mural. And we're all going to come back with that experience, and we're going to be able to show it to people through this documentary. And we'll get the local people involved in what will be basically on the mural. What are we going to incorporate? How are the people going to help, and how is it going to be maintained? And what are our goals, really, as a team doing this? So we've got lots of walls, lots of places that could use some enhancement. And so any artists who are interested, please contact us on our website. We should definitely stay in touch, and we can do this as an artist exchange in Ecuador, or when we bring actual Ecuadorian artisans next summer up from Ecuador. They'll be visiting us at Fiesta Waukesha, and probably some other events as well that same week. But that comes in late June of 2013. We'll be bringing we'll bring in a little piece of Ecuador to you. So that's in the works right now.
But we also want to bring the art from Milwaukee down to South America.
Exactly.
And that's the exchange, It's like we love the art here. All the artists out there have tons of good ideas, very creative stuff, very vibrant stuff, and talented.
Yeah, and it's all possible through you guys who are listening, the people who want to get involved, artists, people who just want to travel, people who want to learn. Everybody's a part of it. We're a big team. We work together. And it's all for a positive movement that changes people's lives. So the first step to do is just link up with us through Facebook, stay in touch, and we can do more projects. So speaking of other projects, we're definitely doing the one with painting the mural, painting it forward. And I also have another opportunity in Waukesha. Lots of traffic goes by this place. We're building a garden right on the steps of Waukesha South High School. And it's going to be a terraced garden. So you may have seen in Ecuador, there's lots of hilly, mountainous regions. So they've cut the land out.
Yeah.
And what they do is they put a wall there. What we're going to do with that wall, we're going to have 3 walls. And we're going to have those walls open for artists to come and leave their stamp on it.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
that's how we're getting the community involved. And
We love Waukesha. No.
yes, we love Waukesha, we love Milwaukee, you know. We want the people to be involved and, you know, just bridge those gaps. There doesn't need to be a gap between our communities, you know. It's all love. You know, we just preach that same message, just live and love life, you know. And you can really get an idea of that through traveling, through some of the things that we do and just giving back. You get, like I said, you get so much more back than what you give in.
Through connecting with communities within and among us and foreign communities. You know, we are all the same all along.
You just got to try it, you know. And like if people want to get involved doing something small, we're going to be constructing our community compost in Waukesha. You can come out there. We're going to have some events, so if you stay tuned, we're going to be planning something over here in the Milwaukee area coming up late summers as well. We don't have the dates nailed down yet, but if you link up, we're going to send you that invite. You better believe it, you know. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. We've done it before. We've done salsa lessons. We've showed people a little bit of what the vision is, of the vibe that we bring to the community. And we want to get you guys involved. So definitely contact us, escapetoecuador.com.
If Bayview is closer to you, come check out Compost Kids every Tuesday. We do flipping some fertilizer and getting dirty and giving it away. So if
That's
you're interested, contact us.
It's
and
a
we'll be there.
it's a very important service to the community that, you know, we're working on bringing it to every community.
That's
you know,
Tuesday
like
night down in Bayview's over with the Compost Kids
6
group. But it's
Right
6 p.m.
outside of Sweetwater
6 p.m.
Organics.
Right
6
outside
p.m.
of Sweetwater Organics.
Every Tuesday.
Very
Come
nice.
out, help out, learn a little bit, chit chat, and after that we can chit chat more, maybe have a brewski or something.
That's right.
Made in Milwaukee.
As
por favor.
tradition grew.
There's plenty of, I mean, I'm not going to speak for them, but there's plenty of space, it looks like, for any artists to leave their stamp as well over there. So, you know, definitely contact them if you're interested in that, because there's a lot of people who come through to check out Sweetwater, check out Compost Kids. Bayview, you know, is a thriving area right now.
It's a work in
and
progress.
We're excited to be a part out there.
Listo tu batería.
Mi batería, sí. Tenemos un tambor. We got a drum here today. Santi, you want to give him a little ritmo para escuchar?
Sure, man.
I think we're gonna get a little cheap. Muito bem. Our friends from Escape to Ecuador are gonna give us a small.
Okay,
a
un momento, por favor. We're
a
gonna.
small sample of a little hand drumming that they would do on the djembe today. And this is actually both the fellas gonna sit down and do a duo, because the head of this little mamacita is just big, dude. That's like 2 basketballs.
It's made out of goat skin.
Oh, goat skin.
Chivo.
Chivo.
It's a strong sound.
Muy
You hear the
bien.
bass, you hear the tap.
Give it to us. Eso. En vivo. Vaya. Echo. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. That was a treat. That was a treat.
Muchas gracias.
That's right.
EscapeToEcuador.com. Check us out.
We'll take
EscapeToEcuador.com.
donations for that, you know, if you guys were here.
Much love, Milwaukee.
I put my hat out, but it's raining outside, so not too many people coming by today.
No, not today. No, we're just chilling steady though over here, doing our thing. Very nice. And so
yeah.
we got a couple minutes left here, guys.
Okay.
Tell us what you're doing this weekend. Where you
Well-
hang out at? What's going on this weekend, guys? What do
Well-
you get into?
I heard at Cubanitas, a little local establishment.
Bonitas
downtown.
en la calle Milwaukee Street, pienso.
Yeah, so check it out online, Cubanitas. It's a beautiful bar, and they open up the floor for dancing. And
Cuban food is really good too.
¿A qué tiempo?
I think it starts at what time is it? 9 p.m., 10 p.m.
A las 9.
Prenda la fiesta.
Cubanitas, 9 p.m. Prenda la fiesta. Bring your salsa shoes and let's get it on a barefoot revolution.
Yeah, I'm giving free salsa lessons for any ladies out there who want to come by and learn a step or two.
Excellent.
I'll be wearing probably some white jeans. Just look for me.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
White jeans with my white dancing shoes.
Okay, Mr. Slick over here. Yes, I is. And if you guys can make it out on Friday night to Cubanitas downtown Milwaukee, then I just want to give a shout out to one of my favorite organizations in town, True School. True School is a nonprofit organization here in Milwaukee that teaches the 5 elements of hip hop primarily. Okay, they teach breakdancing. They got classes on DJing.
Graffiti art.
They offer workshops for graffiti and lyricism.
I gotta tell you,
the number 5 element, knowledge. And they're bringing that to us raw and in full.
Yeah.
And what they got going on Saturday, if you can't make it out on Friday night, then Saturday night, come out down to Walker's Point to a place called the Warehouse. Warehouse is just east of First and National, and True School has their annual block party down there in this huge parking lot. They're gonna have live graffiti artists, dancers, music. We got Kid Cut Up coming out from LA to visit hometown Milwaukee.
I remember Kid Cut Up from back in the day. He used to come out to Madison back when I was going to school.
So come check that. That starts at noon and that goes till 7 p.m. And then after that, I don't know if there's going to be room. You might want to run and hop on trueschool.org and find out more about purchasing boat tickets for a little cruise they're going to take out with the DJs on the lake. Starting at 7 o'clock, they're going to go on a little cruise around the lake and come back around. So that's also a very cool place to go check out this weekend. And
check it out.
And if you want to get your salsa on, Warehouse is a Saturday night special.
I'll be giving free lessons again on Saturday night as well.
And then Aaron will be there with his white shoes, maybe.
Actually, I'll probably change the pants. I'll probably wear some different pants. But I have the white shoes.
Okay, keep the white shoes. Polish them up for us. Get your act right.
Yes. Si, senor.
Read a book, ride a bike.
Simon.
What up, young nephew? So, again, guys.
I'm glad that I came just because I heard about that. No, that's awesome. Definitely.
Excellent. And thank you, guys. I just wanted to thank you very much for coming down to the show. Again, for those who don't know, this is the Odyssey Local Artist Interview live internet streaming radio talk show. And if you don't know,
rocking it out.
Now you know. OLAi is what it is. I'm your host, Christopher Rose. Every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. we'll be doing this thing. And again, thank you, Aaron and Santiago. If you'd like to find out more information about what they're doing locally in the community and abroad, if you'd like to get involved or just stay in tune with some of those things, please check out www.escapetoecuador.com, and you're going to find a whole lot of good information, some good pictures, some blogs and things of things that happened in the past, things that are going on now. And, also can check them out on Facebook as well. I'll go ahead and drop that. The Escape to Ecuador group as well. You can find them and link up there as well. So
start thinking about those travel plans come wintertime. You guys are going to want to escape. So save your spot on the documentary tour. Yes, Santiago will be there. We're going to be doing a lot of positive impact and a lot of things around locally until that time.
And it's going to be filmed.
Eco. Ok, entonces gracias a ustedes y nos vemos otro día.
Thank you very much. Adios.
Ciao.
We love you.